She call me Cap, but I got no cap. I make this money, it comes out on tap. Tryna stay private, but I got them groupies. Owe me in private, but don't get all choosy. Bust out the bubble and in with the new me. FTLOG on the top with the blue jeans. Y'all got the diamonds and I got the rubies. I got the rubies, I got the rubies. She call me Cap, but I got no cap. I make this money, it comes out on tap. Tryna stay humble, but I get real moody. Try not to stumble, but she a real cutie. Bust out the bubble and in
What
with
up?
the
What's
new me.
going on, everyone? Welcome to
FTLOG on the
Sunday
top with the
Funday
blue jeans. Y'all got the
Q&A.
diamonds and I got the rubies. I got the rubies. I got the rubies.
What's going on, you booshes? What is the good word? The bird is the word. Bird, bird, bird. Bird is a word. Making sick games. Making sick games. Making sick games. Yep. 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 Bam. Happy Sunday Funday. Happy Sunday Funday. Make sure everyone, I'm sure most of you already, make sure you check out the brand new YouTube video, New Juice, Squeezing Hard on a Sunday. No fucking days off. No days off with the salsa. Oh.
She call me Cap, but I got no cap. I make this money.
Got some new fire. Go check out King Darius on SoundCloud. Link is in my YouTube descriptions on my videos too. Ah, Ramon, what up? Thank you, Marsha. Appreciate it. Marsha.
I make this money, it comes out on tap. Trying to stay humble.
Sorry, I had to.
Try not to stumble, but she a real cutie. Bust out the bubble.
Got some good brown eye for all you today.
Y'all got the diamonds and I got the rubies.
Got some good brown eye. Got some good brown. Some good brown. I promise. Give you that good. Give you the good brown. Bam, bam, no.
She call me Cap, but I got no cap. I make this money, it comes out on tap. Tryna stay private, but I got them groupies. Owe me in private, but don't get all choosy. Bust out the bubble and in with the new me. FTLOG on the top with the blue jeans. Y'all got the diamonds and I got the rubies. I got the rubies. I got the rubies. She call me Cap, but I got no cap. I make this money, it comes out on tap. Tryna stay humble, but I get real moody. Try not to stumble, but she a real cutie. Bust out the bubble and in with the new me. FTLOG on the top with the blue jeans. Y'all got the diamonds and I got the rubies. I got the rubies. I got the rubies.
Almost about to get started here. We're getting ready. We're gearing up. Got the questions in line. We'll just jump right into it. Got a lot to go through. I'm going to try to get to as many as possible. Daily Swole Club members first, and then I'm going right to the Instagram post. I forgot to do it on Twitter again. Who cares?
She call me Cap, but I got no cap. I make this money, it comes out.
I'll get to it. I'll get to as many as possible.
Owe me in private, but don't get all choosy. Bust out the bubble and in with the new me. FTLOG on the top with the blue jeans. Y'all got the diamonds and I got the rubies. I got the rubies. I got the rubies. She call me Cap, but I got no cap. I make this money, it comes out on tap. Tryna stay humble, but I get real moody. Try not to stumble, but she a real cutie. Bust out the bubble and in with the new me. FTLOG on the top with the blue jeans. Y'all got the diamonds and I got the rubies. I got the rubies. I got the rubies.
Twitter's like the redheaded stepchild. I forget. I always forget to post it on Twitter. Next week. Most people use Instagram anyway, so it's all good. It's all good. All right, we're almost ready to get started. You ready? You ready for daddy? I think you are. Papa Throlio, Papa Throlio, Papa Throlio.
The sun is shining. The birds are chirping.
The basson is a sizzling.
Welcome.
Oh, it's the fucking nip show. Heyo. Test, 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 testing, 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 test, 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 testing, 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 testicles, testing, 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 testicles, testicles, testicles. Oh, welcome everyone to episode 1024 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beercast, broadcast, gangcast, mancast, pimpcast, sleazecast, and slaycast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What's going on, you fucking sluts? What is going on, my beaches? What is the good word on a Sunday? Pinch your nips. Now that we have those formalities out of the way, what's going on? Taint slap for each and every one of you. Welcome to episode 1024 of the Daily Sleaze. Thanks for joining me live on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, fucking wherever else I am, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere. Thank you for joining me for the Sunday Funday Q&A. Hot chocolate. Holy shit, I got hot coffee. But it's hot outside. I'm going to start sweating before this episode's done because I have to turn off the air conditioning so it's not loud. Not wise. It's nasty in the summer. I'm sweating bullets. I'm literally visibly sweating by the end of the episode. So in the summer, the Daily Swole will probably start getting a little bit shorter. A little bit shorter in the summer. We'll see. We'll see how I can rock it. I'll have to get like a quiet fan or something. But anyway, yeah, we're going balls deep today. If you want more depth to the balls, go on my YouTube. How many of you checked out the brand new YouTube drop today? How many of you copped the new juice? Did you get the new juice? Did you get the new juice? Did you get the new salsa all over your face? How'd you like that? How'd you like that new video? If you didn't find it, if you didn't watch it yet, go watch it. And if you're not subscribed on YouTube, I don't know what your life is all about, but you're missing puzzle pieces. I'm swearing to gods if you're missing that shit. So I hope you enjoyed that video. New drop earlier today. And we got a new vlog, got a new Swole Motion coming probably tomorrow morning. Got tons of content. How many of you are DWG fans? We got some driving while gaining fans out there. We got some new DWGs coming. So a lot of content. All those playlists are just going to go off the fucking charts. So the number one thing that you should be focusing on is turning those notifications on. So when you get in there, drop your comments. I'm sharing a ton of comments, like the best fucking comments, the funniest ones, or the ones that really just like on point. I'm sharing in my Instagram story. So yeah, that was fun. If you want to check out some of the comments and things that people are dropping on these videos, go check out my IG stories. It was pretty funny. I tagged a bunch of really good ones. Oh, thank you, Aaron. Subscribed after seeing one video. You see? You see what happens? You see what fucking goes down when you lay some good fucking balls on the chin? When you really lay them properly, not like off center, when you really lay them nicely, just like you just rest them, just gently. I mean, you don't have to be rude about it, but just when you just gently settle the sack right on the chin, people love it. They just fucking love it. So anyway, new fire. And yeah, no shortage of caffeine today. Beaches, my beaches. Today is Sunday Funday Q&Anus. If you are new to the podcast, first off, if it's your virgin swole, if it's your first time catching this live, obviously we're doing podcasts every fucking day. So if you're new to the podcast, drop it in the comments. If you're a virgin, if it's your virgin swole, if I'm popping your swole cherry, how'd that feel? I don't go just a tip, by the way. I spit on it and it goes all the way in. Just fucking, we go deep. We do every Sunday, we do the Sunday Funday Q&Anus where I answer your questions, as many as possible. So I post this picture on Facebook and on Instagram. So the sooner you comment on those pictures when they go up, those get first come, first served. However, those of you that are supporting the podcast, those of you that are supporting the YouTube channel, those of you that do the Daily Swole Club, which is very similar. It's like Patreon, but you're supporting those of you that are supporting Daily Swole Club members. Float some hearts or some biceps if you're a Daily Swole Club member. Those of you that are helping keep the podcast ad-free, I want to say thank you. And those of you that are supporting, the YouTube content. I mucho apreciado that. So Daily Swole Club members get priority access with the Q&A, so I answer their questions first. So we'll get through a couple of those before we get into some of the public questions, and I'll get through as many as possible. And just to kind of preface this for people that are new, what is great about this episode, what's great about every Sunday is it's very interactive, and it's literally what you want to know about. So during the week, of course, we go over different topics. I'm answering questions, and I'm engaging live. That's what's great about the podcast. But I'm also, talking about certain focus points, things that I want to address specifically, on the show. Now, on Sundays, it's yours. The ball is in your court. So when you see those posts, when I'm asking for questions, when I'm sourcing them, I will literally answer anything you want me to. Actually, I'll answer anything I want to answer that you want me to answer. So I'll still, hold on, let me just turn off Alexa. Hold on. She's going to get pissed. Oh, shut up. God, you dumb beesh. I want to mute her so she doesn't wake up or something. Those of you that ask silly or just stupid questions, I'm not going to answer what my favorite color is. Depends on my mood. But we get a lot of great questions. And the beautiful thing about these episodes is they are just treasure troves of just fucking gems. Treasure troves of gems. You will get questions that you never even thought to ask. So if you haven't checked out all those other episodes, every week you'll see a Sunday Funday Q&A. Maybe a couple times there's a missing one for whatever reason, a holiday. But you will see tons and tons of these episodes. So I highly recommend listening to all of them because you'll get some great answers. And you won't even have to ask a question. Be like, oh, he already answered that. And plus, we have 1,000 episodes, so it's a lot. So let's get into the show. Hello, let me say hi, Amy. Oh, he's so dreamy. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Your beard, thank you. I'm actually grooming it a little bit more before the podcast because it's it was so nicely trimmed and shaped. I'm like, all right, now I have a reason to straighten it. I have a reason to make it look good. Before I would make it look good and it would still look like shit. That's when and I said this before, that's when when my beard needs to be tamed and trimmed and reshapen is when I don't give a fuck. I just let it go hang on just hang out, do whatever because it doesn't matter anyway. Tony, what up? First live in a while. Good. You back. Tony's back, everybody. Tony's back in the fucking house. What's going on, Tony? How you doing? You fucking crazy bastard. All right. The Q&Anus. The Q. Let's get into some brown eye, shall we? Let's see. All right. First one, Daily Swole Club member from Bobby. Is it necessary to warm up and or stretch before working out? Good question. You should always do some type of preparatory work. Now, if you think about it, if you're naturally in the wild and you're just a fucking savage living in the jungle, you don't have a chance to warm up if you see a jaguar and you have to fucking escape. However, you're more active if you're in that environment. Because I've heard people say, well, if you're in danger, you don't get a chance to warm up. So you should practice training without warming up first. I get that. But if you're thinking about how an actual caveman is, they're usually physically active all fucking day. So they're kind of warmed up. People that are sitting on their ass all the time, sitting in a hip flex position, sitting in a protracted position all the time, and then going to the gym and just fucking loading up a bar and just benching and being a fucking asshole. You should always warm up. Those of you that are asking about the Daily Swole Club and the Gain Train blog and everything, go to swolenormousx.com. You click on the hamburger icon in the top right, and you'll see all the subscriptions to the podcast. You'll see how to join the Daily Swole Club. You'll see about memberships and all that stuff. So swolenormousx.com if you have any questions or you want to look up stuff. So in terms of warming up, you should always do a general warm up. So I go on the Step Master, the Step Mill, and I do that for 10, 15, 20 minutes. I'll answer some comments. I'll answer emails. I'll listen to some music. I'll do whatever I want just to kind of get myself in the flow, get my zone on. And then I'll do some yoga flow. I'll do some yoga. I'll do some specific. You start doing more what's called a specific warm up. Before you start your actual sets, whatever you're doing, whether you're doing upper body, total body, push, pull, up, down, inside, out, you want to do something that's more tactical, glute activation, upward dog, downward dog. You do something more specific. You go from general to specific. So it's important to warm up. I personally like doing stuff like dynamic stretching. and glute activation and things of that nature, scapular activation, depression, and stuff like that. But then after a workout, I think a lot of people go into stretching right after a workout. I think there's so much tension in the muscles and in the bellies of the muscles after a workout that right after, I don't think stretching is necessarily the best idea. I think it's better to do some foam rolling or some inhibition, and then later on you can do some more like deeper stretching and kind of warm back up and do it later on after the tension dissipates a little bit. But some foam rolling and some straight inhibition techniques after is great just to kind of shut things down and kind of reset, and then later you can get to more lengthening and keeping the, what should I say, the plasticity of the muscles on point. Good question. All right, here we go. All right, next question. This is from 7 Cities. Michelle, I just turned 46 yesterday, and I have what they call, quote, popcorn knees, i.e. they sound like they're crunching when compressed or bent. They don't hurt, but it makes it harder to do things like squats or bends without quick fatigue or pain. So they do hurt. They don't hurt, but it makes it harder to do things like squats or bends without quick fatigue or pain. So they do hurt. That's a big difference. You kind of contradicted yourself right there. No worries. Would this be something that consistent yoga would help, or would you recommend something else? It could help. I mean, yoga helps everything. You should be doing yoga anyway, but you might need some other stuff. Like, I don't know what's going on in your knees. Obviously, I can't diagnose you and be like, magician, like freaking like soothsayer Swole says you have little munchkins in your knees. But things like collagen supplementation, good quality collagen supplement, things like grass-fed bone broth can help with anti-inflammatory, omega-3s, fish oil, quality fish oil, and turmeric, things that are naturally anti-inflammatory could benefit that, but that's only if that's coming from inflammation. It depends on why that crunching is. It could be gas, it could be some kind of artifacts in there. I know what you're talking about. I mean, my joints crack and creak, but they're not painful. If there's pain, there could be something else going on. And the knees are something that gets a lot of interaction from the hips. So if you have hip tightness, a lot of muscles that cross the hip are two joint muscles. So you have the hamstrings that attach from the pelvis, and they insert into the tibia, for example. So they're two joint muscles. That's why things like a 90-degree seated position is so bad for the knees, because most of the muscles that get tight from sitting also affect the knees. So when you have a lot of tension and improper tension around the knees, you're going to get different rubbings and shearings and different stresses that can lead that can lead to injury, that can lead to these types of things, and can also increase your risk of things like ACL tears and such. So just be careful with that. The look of love. All right, we got one more. Dakota Bowers, Daily Swole Club member. Thanks, Dakota. Any opinions on probiotics? Do you mean probiotics like supplements, or do you mean foods and things like sauerkraut and things like that? Probiotics are great. And the reason why probiotics are great is because you need good bacteria. A lot of people take things like antibiotics and ibuprofen and shit and just bomb their gut all the fucking time. And it really screws you up. It screws you up from the inside, especially antibiotics. That is like the fucking worst. You take an antibiotic if you fucking have to. If you fucking have to, because it destroys your gut biome. So aggressive probiotic courses after you have to take something. If you have to take something like an antibiotic, because antibiotic means anti-life. And the problem with antibiotics is it doesn't just kill the bad bacteria, it kills fucking everything. And you need you have good bacteria. Bacteria is not all bad. We think of bacteria, there's bacteria everywhere. There's a lot of good fucking bacteria. You want bacteria. You just don't want to feed the bad bacteria. You want there to be a good balance. And I'm not saying, of course, there's always going to be some kind of bad bacteria in there. It's not just going to be completely always good all the time. But you want to have the balance, the proper balance, whatever that balance is for you. And everyone's going to have different gut flora, of course, inside. And that's very unique. And that's why people have very unique diets. And that's why some people can react to foods differently than others, because of that unique balance that we all have. And that is something that you develop over time. So you don't just have, we're not the same on the inside. We straight up aren't, because if you live in different environments, you eat different foods, genetics play a role too, but you're going to have a different garden. It's essentially a garden in your stomach, in your gut. And not just your stomach, I mean, your bacteria, you have acids in there, but in your gut, in your small intestines, you have an ecosystem, you have a garden. And we all have a different garden with different ratios and different things. So when you're eating food, and this is why I'm so big on eating the right foods, I don't care if you think you can get away by eating a fucking Pop-Tart or candy. When you eat that shit, it's going in your stomach and your intestines, and it's fucking breeding this bad bacteria that is going to thrive on that shit, okay? And then it causes porous gaps in your intestines and causes inflammation and autoimmune issues, and then you can get a lot of problems down the line. And I'm not saying if you have it one time, but it's not good one time, but then you can imagine how much crap people eat all the time and subject their gut to this shit all the time. And that's why there's many allergies and poor reactions to foods, is because it's not so simple as, oh, I don't have a dairy allergy. Well, you might have an intolerance and it cause inflammation. Just because you're not on the toilet shitting yourself all day doesn't mean it's good for you. This sugar stuff is not good for you, so you have to be careful. So probiotics and like sauerkraut and things like that, and kefir and kimchi and those types of things, and what's the other one? Kombucha and those types of fermented foods are really good for that purpose too. I love me some sauerkraut, but I don't like the preservatives. So the one I get has like artesian well water and salt, vinegar. I mean, you can make it yourself. You just put it with salt and water. You just put it in there, and then it does it. It ferments itself. All right, so let's get into Instagram. Thank you for your questions, Daily Swole Club peeps. Appreciate that. Love you, and thank you so much for the support and the donations for the podcast and for the YouTube content. I mucho appreciate it. Oh, see, I speak Espanol. What up? What up, Ishes? What's going on? Leah, I love that way of looking at thank you. My wife uses it all the time. That's what she said. Well, I guess that's what you said about what she said, but okay. Dan Moxley, Papa Swole, I gave you mad props on video today. I broke the world record on the battle ropes. What? It was 40 minutes, single whip alternating. I went over 50 minutes. That sounds miserable. Why would you want to do that? I mean, you're not going that fast though. It's like cardio. That's hardcore cardio. Single whip. Ugh. 50 minutes. Did you break the world record? Like, was someone watching you, or are you going to get an award, or did you just kind of do it on your own and it's kind of like just for you personally, you know that you did it? I'll take one from Instagram Live before I load up the picture here on my feed. Any tips to clear, this is from Tamara True on Instagram. Any clips to, I can't even fucking talk. Any tips to clear the sugar cravings? Yeah, you got to do an elimination. You got to really go back to zero. If you have enough, if you're eating quality fats, you're not going to have those sugar cravings. You have to eradicate them. If you're sleeping properly, hydrating enough, and you're eating a higher fat diet with quality foods, you're not going to have sugar cravings. If you're having sugar cravings, it's because you're sending yourself through this fucking vicious cycle of literally craving carbohydrates. It creates that kind of psychological and physical addiction that you have to break. And that's why people usually see a lot of progress and results when they go high fat, or even when they do ketosis. I personally like a high fat, fat adapted diet. I don't do full ketosis, but I like that because it's so satisfying. It's healthy and it's very, very satisfying to the body, and you don't have those cravings. You're just not hungry when you're full. Well, that was stupid. Of course you're not hungry when you're full. But what I mean is when you're eating the right foods and you're satisfied, when you have satiety and you're eating foods that are giving you nutrients and also giving you that full feeling. I mean, when you have higher fatty foods and you're eating avocados and olive oil and grass-fed beef and fucking coconut oil, and those things fill you up. You don't want stuff after. You don't want to snack. You don't have those cravings. So menopause equals no sleep. Well, I can't help you with that, but yeah, there's a lot of research that shows that for those of you that are going through menopause and things of that nature, that a ketosis, a high-fat diet, is the way to go. A lot of times, nutritionists and doctors, they don't tell you, they don't know what the fuck is going on, and they just want to put you on some kind of meds or some type of other kind of management. But you can eradicate a lot of those symptoms. I've read so much when you just go into something like a real high-fat diet. Don't be afraid of fat. Some people are so afraid of fat. They're so afraid of fat, and it's healthy for you. It's good. You need fat on your body. It's not healthy to be fucking shredded to the bone. You need fat. You need fat for proper endocrine function, for vitamin, mineral storage. Like, it's very important. Like, who wants to see your fucking, no one wants to see your heart. Who cares? Gives a fuck. Once we start moving away from all this aesthetic stuff, the game will change. People are going to get so much healthier. All right, here we go. So we got 83 comments. Well, there's no way in any kind of fuck, so I'm going to get through all these today. So we'll do as many as I can. And like I said, I do first come, first serve. So the first people to post on it, I'm going through those first. Deandra635, is cardio better before or after a lifting session? I do a general warm up for 15 or 20 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. Sometimes I skip it and just do some glute activation, some other stuff. But I would do it after if you're going to do it. And here's the thing. I always say, if you're doing cardio and you're worried about doing cardio before or after your workout, but you're not practicing yoga regularly, fuck your cardio, get your yoga regular, and then if you want to, you can add some cardio in. Do not do cardio if you're not doing yoga yet. Take that time and start practicing yoga first. Rebecca Still, I'm going to try a new method of leaving the weights room and purely sculpt my body using only Pilates equipment. Well, there's no such thing as sculpting. There's building muscle and losing fat, and that's pretty much it. Reformer, Cadillac, bands. Do you think this is achievable? I have no fucking idea. I would not recommend that you don't do weights at all and only use Pilates equipment. You know, the guy that created Joseph, whatever, Pilates, he did that because he was hospitalized and he couldn't get up and he couldn't move. Like, I would recommend you lift weights and you can add in Pilates and do yoga. I wouldn't do only one thing like that. I think that's putting your eggs in one basket, and I have no idea if it's achievable until you do it and see if it's achievable or not. Jay Dixon, how long have you been training? Almost 20 years. Lone Fox Wilson, 88, carb cycling is a widely promoted eating technique that trainers preach and preach about. Would you say carb cycling is needed to achieve your fitness goals? No, I would not. Or can people simply eat healthy and watch their caloric intake? You need to make sure that you're eating the right foods, not worry about so much the quantity or cycling. Cycling is a style, just like ketosis, paleo, vegan, all that stuff. If you're eating the right foods for your body, then you can start hammering down your caloric intake, and then you can start worrying more and more about your personal style that you can be consistent with. That's the order. What you're eating, how much, and then your style that fits your body. If you're eating the right foods for your body and you find a system that allows you to be consistent day in and day out, that's what's going to get you the most results. We talked about this yesterday. Consistency is everything. KM De Rowan, do I need a bunch of supplements in order to grow my muscles? No. Janine Brandywine, which books do you recommend? There are a lot of them out there. You can get started with ones like Plant Paradox, Grain Brain. There's some other great ones by just all those fucking paleo guys. Mark Hyman, Chris Kresser, all those guys are really, really, really knowledgeable in like evolutionary biology. There's a lot of good stuff. Bren Greenfield's really good with all that stuff and biohacking and going into all that. Dr. Rhonda Patrick, and I don't know all the names of all their books, but there's podcasts. There's so many different ways to consume their content. So hope that helps. Sean Doan, any suggestions on good back exercises for a severely herniated disc, yoga, and glute activation? Squats are getting rough on leg day 2. That's because you have herniated discs and as a result of probably postural issues and dynamic posture problems. Slowly destroying my soul. Oh God, that got dark quick. Or what's left of it anyway. My goodness, that took a turn, bro. You went from a herniated disc to like not having a soul. So I don't think those two things are the same. But yeah, if you have a severely herniated disc, of course, I'm not going to tell you, hey, go do this. This is going to help you. So this is not a medical recommendation, but yoga is usually great. Yin yoga is fantastic because it's not low impact. You can also do corrective exercise and tons of glute activation that can oftentimes help. We have one member in particular, and I mentioned him before in one of the previous podcasts, if you listen to them regularly, Mike Studle. He was practicing yoga and he had back problems and herniations and issues for years. And because he was practicing yoga and mobility, he's a member of Swole X. He was on like the incline bench one day doing the program, and all of a sudden he just felt like a fucking pop and his back just like slid back into place. So when you're doing yoga and things like that, one of the reasons why you can get a herniation is that constant pressure and constant impingement essentially on the intervertebral discs on one side. So if you're always in a seated position, you're always adding pressure to one part of the discs between your vertebrae, and you're just pushing it out. And eventually you'll get a bulge, and eventually you'll get a herniation. And it could also happen from like an impact and something like that. So when you're doing things like yoga, you're doing inversions, you're doing upside down, you're moving, you're rotating, you're moving in different planes of motion. A lot of times you're kind of fluffing the pillow and creating more space and decreasing pressure in your spine. So it allows for some of these things and the muscles around it to tighten and pull those discs back in some cases completely. In some cases, I'm not saying it's a miracle, but No, you don't want to foam roll your lower back. You don't want to foam roll a disc, Marsha. But foam rolling around like the piriformis and other muscles can definitely help reduce tension too. I'm sorry. You weren't talking to me. Just for the record, Marsha was saying foam roller because Natalia was asking what helps delayed onset muscle soreness. So that helps, yeah. Sorry, I forget that you're not in real time. Gabby, 16 Melly, last time I asked you about losing weight and gaining muscle, and your answer was I have to pick one. So well, for the most part, yeah. I mean, if you want to gain muscle, you're gaining weight, essentially. So question now is, can it be possible to also get rid of some fat while building the muscles? Yeah, I mean, it's possible. If you're new to training, it's possible. You'll hear a lot about, oh, well, I can build some muscle. If I have a net, nitrogen balance with protein, I can build some muscle and lose some fat. In all honesty, you should be focusing on cutting out all inflammatory foods, lifting consistently, practicing yoga, and keeping your calories not excessive. And the reason why I don't talk a lot about caloric restriction is because when you're focused on eating the right foods, you're going to get full when your body should be getting full. So you're not going to want to overeat. Just for the record, it's very hard to overeat when you're eating the right food. It is. It's very fucking hard to overeat when you're eating the right food. It's hard to eat excessively. Everyone thinks like, oh, I'm eating so many calories, I'm overeating. It's because you're not eating the right shit. When you're full, when you're eating sufficiently, when you're eating healthy, full fucking foods, trust me, it's hard to eat 3,000 and 4,000 calories. You have to actively try and actively eat when you're full. If you're eating real, whole, quality foods and you did an elimination diet, you know which foods react best with your body, and you're full, you're going to stop fucking eating. If you keep on eating, guess what? That's your body saying, I've had enough. You keep on eating, you're going to gain weight. You're going to add in extra. Like that's simple. It's simple. The reason why you don't know if you're overeating or not or undereating is because you're eating the wrong foods and the wrong signals are getting thrown around your body with all this crazy sugar roller coasters, processed foods, and shit like that. Not to mention the endocrine disruptors, colognes, household cleaners, shampoos, body lotions, all these things that are fucking up our body's messaging system. And it's a problem. It's not just the food. It's not just the exercise. It's the hydration. It's the blue light. It's the sleeping cycles. It's everything. It's stress. It's everything. That's why I keep saying lift weights, do yoga, practice your meditation, and take it one day at a time and start eliminating all these things from your existence and from your surroundings, and you'll make progress. It just takes time and patience. And your endocrine system takes a long time sometimes to reset if you're always spraying Axe body spray or cologne, and it's been fucking up your body for decades. It's not going to happen in a month. It might take years for your body to kind of reset and cleanse itself of that shit. But hey, you're alive anyway. You may as well do it the right fucking way. And if you don't want to do it, then don't do it. But then don't complain about not getting results. Janine, is this another question? All right, I'll do one more, but I don't like doubles. I'm just kidding. During the elimination diet, when introducing one of the inflammatory foods and waiting 24 to 48 hours, do we wait a week and then try a new group of food, or do we move on to the next food group after the 48? You'll know. Sometimes a food can bother you 72 hours. But what you do is, let's say you're after the elimination, you try bread on a Monday. You eat a couple pieces of bread or throughout the day, and then you then you go back to your elimination and you wait 2 days, and then maybe Thursday or Friday, okay, you recorded, you kind of felt the effects or whatever from bread if you did, and then you might try, let's say, dairy on Friday or something like that. So after you try it for a day on Monday, then you go back to the strict elimination for a couple more days so you can observe the effects. You kind of like reset. It's the best way to know, okay, this is what is causing my bloating. Okay, I have a headache. I got a crazy migraine when I consume gluten after that. Then you know, okay, that's something I should stay away from, X, Y, and Z. It's you doing your own scientific experiment. A lot of people didn't pay attention in science class, which is why people don't understand, oh, this is a scientific method. This is a hypothesis. Oh, we're testing things. It's just doing it on your body, and people don't have the patience or the will to do it. But this is the right way to customize your nutrition, and most fitness professionals will just be more than happy to hand you some cookie cutter plan, and it might be hit or miss. So I want to approach it the right way, because then you'll be consistent with it. You'll like it. You'll get results, and then you'll have it for the rest of your life. You learn to reconnect with your body. It's important. Dicky, whatever. What mental benefits have you obtained from yoga? Everything. Yoga and meditation is amazing. So hard to explain, more mental clarity, more observation. It gives you a better third person in your own life. So you're able to kind of step outside things and control your emotions, which is everything. If you can control your emotions and how you feel, you've won. Cats AZ, do you still eat Sour Patch Kids? Fuck no, I haven't had those in a long time. The last videos you saw probably like 2 years ago, nah, I got rid of those. That was like my only thing that I was doing, got rid of that shit. Do I still smoke cigars and drink scotch? I claim to, and in my mind I do, but I have like a couple cigars. I keep on meaning to go outside and just relax and have a cigar and have some scotch. I got a bottle of Blue Label for Christmas. I have some Glenlivet over here, both in boxes. And every time, and here's the thing, to be honest, because, you know, a lot of times I'm in the fucking zone. I'm editing, so I'm not smoking a cigar at my fucking computer. And I don't want to go outside and sit because, okay, if I'm going outside for a cigar for like an hour or two, you know, I mean, I want to fucking edit. I have shit I got to do, so I don't have time in many ways to do it. I don't prioritize it at all. So it just happens when it maybe happens. And when it comes to whiskey, a lot of times I'm just like, I'm having tea or I'm drinking coffee or I'm drinking water. And it's like, no, I want to focus on this. So I don't restrict myself from it, but I don't have to because I barely do it anyway. But I love it. I love it. I just don't often at all. Not at all, like in terms of often. But I do love it. Like if I go out somewhere, if I go somewhere, this is the thing. I'm not going to have nachos. I'm not going to eat fucking garbage, but I'll have like a glass of scotch or I'll have some Jack or something like that, like on the rocks or neat. Like I'll just drink that. So that's like when I go out, I'll do that. And the reason why I do that is because from testing myself, I know what I can and can't do. I know if I have a beer, I'm going to feel fucking bloated and just feel like, ugh, and kind of have a headache. I know if I have wine, a lot of times the sulfites fucking get to me, but I know that scotch has always been good to daddy. So, and you have to figure this out for yourself too. Pal 98, when I do shoulder day, I go and crush the living shit out of them. Proper warm up, cool down to make. Nice job, pop socket. Fucking scam. Hold on. Son of a bitch. Pop socket fail. Okay. That was actually coming off yesterday, so maybe I didn't. May have to clean that. Sorry, brand new phone. Son of a bitch. Where was I? You warm them up and down, make sure they aren't tight. The next day, it feels like I never worked them and always been like that. Do I need to go harder? I don't know. Maybe. Being sore isn't the be-all, end-all of... Just because you're not sore doesn't mean you're not seeing progress. Shoulders get a lot of attention, so... You know, you go and crush the living shit out of them. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. You're doing a lot of the same thing. You're not just getting soreness from progressive overload. You're going to get soreness from like isometric holds, eccentric training, doing new moves. You could just be doing the same shit all the time. I mean, people always say that, like, I crushed them, I worked out so hard, and then I train with them, and then they're like, oh my, they get fucking wrecked because they don't really train that hard, or they don't push themselves really that hard. It's hard to push yourself. It's hard. It's like a skill. You have to really take off the governor. It's hard for the body to self-inflict pain. It really is. Barbecue sheep dip. I've been doing Swole almost every day, and I'm starting to do the beginner series. Is there a specific purpose of the yoga mat for the body positions, or is it just a place to stand or sit? It's good for reference points, for balance too. It's good because you don't slip if you're on the dirt. You might not want to be just on like fucking ground and dirt sliding around. You don't need a yoga mat, but if you're on your knees, it's going to feel better than concrete if you're on a hard surface. And when you're doing things like downward dog, for example, a lot of times a yoga mat will give you some grip. So when you're doing let's say downward dog, and you're driving your chest, you're driving your head towards your thighs, you are on a mat. So you have that tension. So if you're on the ground, your hands might slide forward and your feet might slide forward because there's nothing, connecting those two together. So a mat can keep you, if it's a good mat, if it's a shitty mat, you'll slip, or those fluffy mats are garbage, but a real quality mat will give you that kind of sticky grip in which you can really get into those deep stretches. Plus it's good reference when you're doing things like Warrior 3 or those advanced, it gives you a reference point too. Candy le bleu, candy le bleu. I want to say that. Can I just say that over and over again for the next like 20 minutes? Candy le bleu. I love it. We did cardio one day and weight left the other day. Just warm up muscle for about 10 minutes. Go left. Oh, that's not even coherent, let alone a question. So sorry, dear. I don't know what the heck you're talking about. TRX Racer, Team Swole. What's your favorite kind of exercise for biceps? Curls. I don't pick favorites. I do not do favorites. I'm adamantly against thinking anything is a favorite because I don't want to bias my training towards any one thing. Renninger Moose, do things like creatine, multivitamins, or BCAAs, if you enjoy wasting your money on them, break a fast. Yeah, usually anything besides water breaks a fast. pretty much anything breaks a fast. So BCAAs will probably likely break a fast technically because you're consuming nutrients, BCAA, but I wouldn't waste your money on that. Creatine, I don't know if that technically breaks a fast, but any kind of things like black coffee, that stuff does. When you drink coffee, it releases sugar, like it breaks a fast. You're not treating your body. Water is a fast. That's technically a fast. I mean, you can do black coffee. It's not the same thing as eating food, but you're still going to get like non-fasting like reactions from it. In terms of those supplements, do they break a fast? I don't think maybe technically, but I don't really care either. Good question. Interesting question, but don't worry about it. Don't waste your energy on it. BFit777, thoughts on beef consumption rather than chicken? Yeah, I don't consume a lot of chicken. Grass-fed beef, 100% grass-fed beef is fucking amazing. More omega-3s, CLA, just more satisfying. Chicken is, I would call it the weaker meat in many cases, but some people don't like to consume too much red meat. That's going to come down to in the future when we find out more and more and more about genetics. Some people are probably more predisposed to processing red meat better than others. So if you have issues or you don't want to eat too much red meat, then you can have really high quality chicken, or wild game is great too. No known health effects, awesomeness. Christina C. UK, why do you have such perfect teeth? I don't. I appreciate that. I just got them cleaned from the dentist. My dentist will be happy. I never thought of myself having perfect teeth, but thank you. Mom, wife, fit life. What are your thoughts on a plant-based diet? I think that's a nice little term that gets thrown around on a lot of shit. So I don't even know what the fuck you mean by plant-based diet, but I think you should be eating fiber. I think fiber is very important. I think people that do ketosis, for example, think that, hey, it's just fat all the time. I can eat cheese, I can eat garbage, I can eat vegetable oils. They just eat tons and 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 tons of fucking fat without any fiber. But that's not how you should be doing ketosis. It's impact carbohydrates. So fiber is very important. Does gator meat have any nutritional value? No fucking idea. That's a Google for you. Carrie Lynn, I'm sure it does. I mean, it's food. I don't know anything about gator meat. Never had it. Anything on intermittent fasting, it's fine. The body is meant to go without food. So you can check out my podcast, You Should Be Hungry. You Should Go Hungry, or whatever I called it. It's recent. Nicole Broxson, how do you know when to cut bulk? How do you decide that? I don't care about that anymore. How do you know? When you want to. I mean, when you're building muscle, most people need to focus on the basics, learning how to lift weights, eliminating inflammatory foods, working on fucking their environmental toxins, practicing yoga, meditation. Most people worry about the aesthetics before they have the fucking foundation. That's the problem with fitness today. Billy Signs, what do you think about chiropractic care? I don't use it. I don't think it's, a lot of people try to go to chiropractors when it's muscular. Not everything needs an adjustment. And if you go to a chiropractor, a lot of them will just like try to crack you, bend you. A lot of times you don't need that shit. You need myofascial release. You need soft tissue work. You need muscle activation. So I've never used one and I don't expect ever to. Some people like them though. Some people don't. I've heard a lot of stories about chiropractic work, making it worse, more, I guess, worse rather than better. So, you could say that about a lot of things, but no personal experience and no intended personal experience in the future. Savage memes. Why do social justice warriors cause so much drama? Because they're looking for attention and they're playing the victim card to ostracize and to create, I guess, unity in numbers by picking a side, by picking a common enemy. It's common, like just extreme leftist, socialist types of approaches. That's political, so. Interesting question, random. When was just trying to make people happy and more motivated? I don't understand. I'm not sure. You talk about fat acceptance and that type of stuff. Nicole Broxson again. Why does Instagram fitness influencers give the public unrealistic goal and post unrealistic transformations? Money. Oh, you said you answered your own question. Obviously, money and followers. Yep. Are you single? Nope. Brad motherfucking Robinson. Have there been any known romances to come from the community of Swole? Are like-minded people finding each other through this platform? Brad, I have no fucking idea, but you can drop that in the comments below. Why don't you all answer that? Let me know. If you have a Swole-mance, that has come from the Daily Swole or something, or the Daily Swole has improved your relationship. Like if you have a husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, and you started listening to the Swole, or your man or your woman, and they recommend it to you, and your sex life has improved, or you lost weight and things are gotten better with your relationship, let me know. That'd be a fun little piece. I'd love that. You asked a lot of questions. So Nicole, you asked a couple already, so I'm going to skip this next one. So next time, Hallie RN, if you were stranded on a deserted island, what 3 things would you bring with you? Probably bacon, and bacon. No, I have no fucking idea. Those are fucking retarded questions. Come on, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. If you were stranded on a desert island, what would you bring with you? Fuck out of here. Shuaib M. Hosen. Good fucking name. Does creatine have side effects? Not that I'm aware of. I think creatine is one of the most safe and studied supplements. Now, when I talk about supplements, I mean, creatine is found in red meat. When I talk about supplements, and I fucking hate the supplement industry, I'm talking about all the protein powders, all the BCAAs, fat burners, this, that, and the other. I'm not saying anything about omega-3s and like a high-quality fish oil or a high-quality collagen protein. Like there's certain things that are beneficial. I mean, you could technically call like bone broth a supplement, but there's I use that as like a blanket attack on the bullshit part of the supplement industry. It doesn't mean that supplementation for certain things aren't beneficial and may be necessary for some people. Like if you're a vegan, you need to get supplements in some cases. And food nowadays is so devoid of nutrients, especially with over farming and stuff like that. There's a lot of things that could be beneficial to supplement in a specific, what should I say, like a tactile, like one certain nutrient or mineral. But you don't need things like protein powder. You don't need things like BCAAs. That's been shown to just be kind of like, meh, you don't need that shit. You don't need those building blocks. They're not meaningful without the rest of them. And protein powders, a lot of them are processed and have heavy metals in them, and they have tons of fillers. So you don't need that shit. FCADD. I see tons of videos on this workout and that workout, and you should do this, do that, okay, blah, blah, okay. I hardly see any video or talk about the lifestyle food choices being made behind all those hard workout sessions. Okay, I know. What is your weekly food intake and why? That's a long question, and I talk about it all the time. So my thing for you is you need to worry about your weekly food intake. Have you done an elimination? Have you actually tested the foods that you're consuming? Have you actually looked into that? If not, you need to worry about what you need to do, not what I'm doing. That's a huge thing. That's another reason why I don't talk about, I talk about it all the time. I eat grass-fed beef. I eat tons of vegetables. I love avocados, coconut oil, olive oil. I love pastured heritage breed pork bacon. I love pastured eggs. I don't eat all of them all the fucking time, sweet potatoes, but that doesn't mean that all those things are going to be optimal for you. That's what I found that helps me perform the best and feel the best. Shuab again. We'll do one more. Should you sacrifice form for reps? Nope. Do you practice calisthenics? Yoga. It's not calisthenics, but are they better than weightlifting? Not in my opinion. They're bodyweight exercises. Dude, you're asking like a fucking 1,000 questions. But I appreciate the comments. Will your muscles still grow if you push them, if you work them out once per week? Yes, they'll still grow. I know that because I've done tons of overload like that. So anyone that's thinking that, you need total body workouts because as a natural, you shouldn't do splits that just do chest on one day or chest and back or this. Fuck your couch. Fuck you. I've done that for years. I've done all of it. It works. It absolutely works. The one thing that people don't do is do shit proper. They don't eat right. They don't sleep right. They're not consistent. So most people don't do a lot of other things right. So they don't get results doing certain things because they're falling short drastically in many other areas. Kilo Charlie, I'm going to shorten this because you wrote an essay here. How long does it really take to see significant improvements with my body? I don't know. That's just the most vague question. You need to be patient. You need to do the right things. And if you're not doing the right things, you won't see improvements. And that's just how it works. That's just how it works. That's just how it works. I'm hoping these next 30 days, let's see. I had a baby in January of 2017, July. I've had a bit of a mom pooch, X, Y, and Z. I see results over the last 2 months as far as muscle firmness and size. 2 months? Yo, that's like no time at all. I'm hoping these next 30 days will include significant changes, especially since it'll be a full 30 days with running included. 30 days, you have to be more patient. You're looking for short-term fix. it's going to take months and maybe even years, but you'll see improvements, but you have to be consistent. Stop thinking about 30 days. You're thinking way, way, way too short of a window. Good question, though. Smalls 413, from a gram per pound of body weight perspective, is it harmful to eat more grams of protein per day than my body weight? Yeah, you don't need around 30 or so to be exact. You don't need a gram per pound of body weight either. The industry has overblown the necessity for protein consumption. You don't need that much protein. You need more fat, probably. Wow.Leah, does creatine actually help build muscle, or is it just a temporary visual? Creatine is found in red meat. Creatine helps replenish ATP. So when you have ATP as a usable form of energy in the muscles, when you have a muscle contraction, one of the phosphates breaks off the end and releases energy, allowing for the muscle contraction to take place. Creatine phosphate essentially donates its phosphate to the ADP molecule and replenishes and creates ATP. So it's ADP diphosphate, ATP triphosphate. So the creatine phosphate gives up and replenishes and recreates energy faster. So when you supplement, but the thing is with creatine supplementation is a lot of people have a better reaction to creatine because they have a lower natural retention or storage of creatine in the body. Not everyone will react the same way to creatine. Some people that have natural lower levels, for example, will benefit more because, it fills up their tank more. But if you already are kind of near your max with creatine, you might take it and be like, I didn't really see much of a difference. I'm just kind of bloating a little bit. So not everyone's going to react the same way. That's why some people love it and some people don't. And you also don't need anything fancy. You don't need one of those expensive, like super absorbent creatine. Just like a regular micronized regular creatine is fine if you want to try it. But yeah, you don't need too much. You don't need to load. Those are all fucking myths. Leanna Ray, generally speaking, does one need to be eating at a caloric surplus just after a workout to gain muscle, or does it have to be consistent throughout the day? It has to be consistent throughout the week and week after week. What people don't realize is your body doesn't think about a day. Your body is it rolls over. It's always rolling over. So 24 hours is not just like hard and solidified. It's like a rolling constant thing. So that's important. It's important to understand that it's not just, okay, did I eat enough calories today? Okay, cool. I mean, you might eat a little bit less today, but you eat more tomorrow. And it's just kind of like the average overall. If you're getting more calories in than you're utilizing, you'll gain weight. Lemon Lindsay, good names. Do you have any input on exercises to do to recover a severe and repeated ankle sprain? Been doing yoga and simple balancing moves. Just wonder if I could do more. Well, I mean, you're doing some great things. It depends on what the injury is and why you're having injury. Some people just have more laxity in their joints, but you can definitely be doing some more corrective exercise and strengthening with like the anterior tibialis, and use one of those like bands where you can, do inversions and supinations and things. And pronation for your foot. So you're not pronation, for supination. Don't worry about that. I'm just in my own fucking head with the kinesiology there. So that was a little rusty. But yeah, if you have a repeated ankle sprain it could be genetics. It also could be glute activation. Maybe your glutes aren't stabilizing your femur properly and you're getting some more knee valgus. You're getting some more action with the femur. So it's putting more stress on your ankle. It could be part of the problem. So don't just always only look to your feet. It could be coming up around. It could be being affected by the hips and the knees as well. Candace, Elaine, what are your thoughts on Orange Theory? Group exercise is more or less the same. Some people get results, some people won't. There's not as much attention. It's very repetitive. You need to be doing a solid weight training program. Anything that's just like a ton of TRX and rowing, and I'm not personally a fan. I wouldn't recommend anyone do it, but I mean, I know a lot of people like it and a lot of people have gotten results on it. So fine. But you need to be doing your yoga. You need to be doing weight training. And if you want to do that once in a while, okay. But I'm never one to like support that all the time, for example. Gun at 42. Could I still get sick fucking gains by doing tit on every exercise? You said tit. So technically it's supposed to be TUT, time under tension, but I like saying time in tension. I like tit. I don't want to say tut. I want to say tit. Could I still get sick fucking gains? You can see gains, but I would definitely recommend, you'd still need the progressive overload. You still need the weights. You're only going to get so big by doing 10 pounds. Eventually, you're going to have to start lifting 20, 25, 30, 40 if you want to build more muscle. But you can definitely use that for drop sets, for stabilizer activity, and things like that. Were you born with long hair? No, I was born with the same amount of hair as everyone else. What are your thoughts on intermittent fasting? Answer that. We'll take a couple more. Oh, let me go on Facebook for a second because I just answered a lot of them. How are we doing over here? How are we doing over here on the podcast, on the Slamcast? I got a crack in my neck. Hold on. Oh, hey, podcast. Oh, that felt good. That was good. Let me see this. God, Facebook doesn't show. Facebook, I have over 100,000 followers on Facebook. I posted the picture and I got 5 comments on Facebook. 5. 300. Look at that. I mean, just so you guys can understand what happens with algorithms and shit, okay? Which sucks for people that like spend a lot of money building Facebook followings and like a lot of effort. Just think about this is how attention changes, okay? All those I was reading from Instagram. I'm not even done yet. Nowhere close. On Facebook, over 100,000 followers, and 300 people were reached from me posting that Sunday Funday Q&A picture. 300 people were reached with this picture. And I got 5 questions. It's ridiculous. Yeah, ridiculous? Okay. Let me answer those people that were actually lucky enough to see my fucking picture. Thanks, Mark. Michelle Sundberg, can you target the underbutt? Nah, I mean, there's the hamstrings and there's the butt. There's no underbutt. There's the glutes and there's the hamstrings. There's nothing. It's not called an underbutt. I have a nice round shape on the sides. My bottom is bordering on square shape. You need more glutes. You need to target your fucking glutes more. You need to do more glute activation. It's your glutes. Yo's glutes. There's different angles and different mechanical angles, but it's still just the glutes. Nathan Oakley, I have a comment. I love the Arnold videos. You're welcome. How's everyone liking those on Instagram? I guess I post them on Facebook too. The Arnold Swolio. I'll make another one. We'll do another one today and tomorrow. You got a lot more of those coming. Trust me. Matthew Moore, how do you cure plantar fasciitis? I have gone to several PTs, foam rolled, and shoe inserts. I know I have tight calves. Would love a daily regimen to get rid of it. I now have to wear compression socks. God, they don't fucking help worth a damn. What's with these physical therapists? And all right, so plantar fasciitis, ways you can fix that is glute activation. Lateral tube walking will help if your knees are caving in. If you're getting knee valgus, that'll cause your feet to flatten, overpronate. You don't need shoe inserts. That's just kind of a Band-Aid over the problem. You're not fixing anything. You need to work your anterior tibialis, your posterior tibialis. You need to work on the arch of your foot. So arch exercises. You need to do arch exercise. I would recommend doing alphabets before you get out of bed. Sit on the edge of the bed before you get out and do the entire alphabet with both feet in capital letters before you even stand up and walk around. Do your anterior tibialis work, practice yoga, but working on your arch and working on those muscles in the bottom of your foot and also the anterior tibialis are going to help dramatically. And time. Don't go fucking around slamming on it, but yeah, those things are... And if you have tight calves, you got a fucking pop socket, you piece of shit. You fucking piece of shit. It must be so hot in here that's like melting off. What the fuck is this? You son of a bitch. Fucking pop socket. More like a cock socket. Piece of garbage. I guess it is only like $5, so what am I complaining about? Let's see. Sean, do you have a hard time at the gym watching people who have terrible form to the point it's going to damage them and not saying anything? I don't pay attention. I see it. I ignore it. I don't go and like... I'm not fucking Robin Hood in the gym. I don't have time. I got to focus on my own shit. People are going to do stupid shit. If someone asks me a question, I'm happy to answer, but fuck that. Do I have a hard time? Not anymore. I just ignore it. I do my thing. Sarah Carnes, how do you feel about the keto lifestyle? I don't see it as a diet because it's not temporary. It should be temporary. You shouldn't be in ketosis all the time. I would not do that long term. It's high fat, medium protein. It's actually low protein, low medium protein, low carb. I know what that is. It gets a lot of backlash. I definitely think high fat is great. Ketosis and those types of things are actually very healthy, but high fat, you shouldn't be in ketosis all the time. You shouldn't only be doing it. But animal fat, like fat is so great. Animal fats, I mean, do not, anyone listening, do not cut the fats off your fucking meat. Only do that if you're eating garbage meat like grain-fed beef. If you're eating quality grass-fed beef, do not get rid of the fat. That's where you're getting tons of omega-3, CLA. You're getting a lot of great nutrients. Do not get rid of the fat. You don't need to hide from the fat. You need it. Your body needs it. Let's see. Michelle Lynn. In addition to eating more natural, whole, real foods, what are your thoughts about the necessity of switching to more natural products and other aspects like all deodorants like this? Yes, I concur. We already talked about that. I talked about that. Yes, got to get rid of environmental toxins. Anna KHVZ, I do 1 mile interval cardio. With intermittent cardio, days I don't weight train, I just do cardio. Do I need more to do more cardio after workout? No, you're doing tons of cardio already. I do 1 mile interval cardio and treadmill for warm up before weights with intermittent cardio. You just do cardio on days you don't weight train. You're doing so much fucking cardio. Stop doing so much cardio and do more yoga. If you're not practicing yoga 3 or 4 days a week, you're doing too much cardio. Do more yoga. In other words, the time. Everyone has a limited amount. We all have the same amount of hours in a day. So if you're doing too much fucking cardio or so much cardio, you're not doing yoga. If you're doing cardio at the expense of not doing yoga, you got it backwards. What are your opinions on a 2-hour long workout? I know someone who always does it. I'm more of a 1 hour man. Well, are you seeing results? You don't need 2 hours. I mean, it depends. Some people like to hang out and pace themselves. I don't think you can put things in a box. Some people say, do total body workouts, right? Do splits. I do for 2 hours. If you have results and you can show it and you have the results that you want, who's to say you're wrong? We're all different. The most important thing is you're doing something you can maintain. If you can maintain 2-hour workouts, doesn't mean it's better. Doesn't mean that they could be resting too long. It depends. It's not how long you spend in the gym. It's what you're doing when you're there. Are you doing the right acute variables? Are you doing the right exercise? Are you wasting time? You could do 2 hours in the gym and be talking to the front desk girl for 30 minutes. So I don't care when you swiped your card, when you walked in, what are you doing when you're in there? So 2 hours can be a waste of fucking time. Or for me, it could be 20 minutes on the warm up. It could be a 10, 15 minute warm up. So that's 35 minutes with let's say I have some time. I just want to chill out. I want to zone out, kind of do my moving meditation. So I'm doing my step mill, I'm getting my fucking heart rate up, I'm doing some yoga, I'm warming up slowly, I work out for an hour, I do some calves and some stuff after. So it could be an hour and 45 minutes, but I'm not working out hard for an hour and 45 minutes. What are your opinions? Oh, you already asked that. Can we have gains and lose fat at the same time? We talked about this. Most people don't know how to handle that. Most people shouldn't be worrying about that. Those are details until you get your nutrition and your underway. Do you recommend any cookbooks that show healthy prepared meals? Google has a lot of great shit when you do an elimination and you know which foods are best for your body. All you got to do is type them in and you'll find a billion recipes that can help you figure out things if you want fancy meals. I just like the food I like to eat. And then I put it in my mouth and I go on with my life. I don't do fancy recipes. If I make sweet potatoes, I make a sweet potato in the oven and I fucking put it in my mouth. If I want grass-fed beef, I make it and I fucking eat it. Simple. I want the food. Pretty much my kitchen for me, I go to a gas station. The kitchen for me is a gas station. I fuel up and I go on with my day. I'm not in there all the fucking time. I'm not looking for, a garnish. I don't want my plate to look all pretty. I want the food in my fucking mouth so I can move on with my day. Food is not an entertainment. It's a tool. Food is a tool. When you start thinking of it as a tool and not as entertainment, it makes a big difference. Hey, Swolenormous, check out my story. It's about fat shaming. I don't have time, sorry. But thank you. I don't care. I don't believe fat shaming exists unless you're doing it to yourself. If you're doing the right shit, you know you're doing it right. You don't take offense by what I talk about fat people. I don't care if you're fat. Remember, it's a state of mind. People don't read the captions and they leave these long things, with this self but I'm fat. I don't believe that's true. Well, you didn't read the caption. I'm not talking about you then if you're trying hard, but stop playing the victim and fucking make it happen. Runner lace. When you train, what muscles do you rotate through in each day? For example, sometimes I do splits. If you're starting out, you should do total body or push pull. Upper lower is great. Egg Lembo, I had my third child over a year ago, and ever since giving birth, I occasionally catch myself standing with my hips tilted forward. What can I do to correct my posture? Do you mean an anterior pelvic tilt? You need to do glute activation, and that'll help you posterior tilt your pelvis. Instagram's going to cut off Instagram's going to cut off in a second. I'll do a couple more questions, but then I'm going to roll. So when it cuts off in a minute, I'll restart it. So those of you watching on Instagram, you're going to have to reload it. Just a heads up, it's going to cut out in like a minute 30. Am I going to get through all these questions? I might. Let me turn up the heat. Hannah in progress. I have a hard time with wanting a little bit of everything. I want to lose a little weight. I want to lean out, but I want to add blah, blah, blah. Okay. What's the best and most realistic way to achieve this, or is it even possible? You want to lose a little weight. I want to lean out. I want to add muscle and strength. You got to figure out what the fuck you want. You want everything. You can't have it all. You got to focus on one thing. When you worry about all those different things, chances are you don't even know what you're supposed to be eating. You have no idea how many calories you're consuming. You haven't hammered down your programming. You're worried about fancy shit before you even focus on the basics. Sweet or savory? No idea what you're talking about. What kind of a question is that? It's random. Would you rather have a protein shake or meat? I don't do protein shakes. I would rather have food. Do you poop with clothes on or off? If I'm wearing shorts, I'll take them off. Why do I want those around my knees? Harder to wipe, yo. I'm just kidding. It's a legit question, and people do get naked in public when taking a shit. It's probably because they don't want their pants or things touching the fucking toilet. I just don't shit in public. I don't understand why people would actually go to the gym and take a shit in those like fucking dirty ass stalls and stuff. It makes sense. Take it off. You don't want that stuff rubbing and on the ground. They're logical. What do you eat when traveling? Plus you don't you don't want to like accidentally like wipe your shirt into your asshole. It's a weird question. Do you love it when they call you Big Papa? Sure. Call me whatever the fuck you want. Call me Papa Swole, yo. Call me Daddy. You can call me Daddy. Let me load up Instagram again. All right, hold on. Let me just pin this comment. So let me do part 2 on Instagram. I told you it would cut off, so there we go. Wait for someone to come in so I could pin it. People are here. Pin the comment. Okay, so now we'll continue. The Jessica, what do you eat when traveling? How do you prepare for that? Stay on track. I cook a bunch of like grass-fed meatballs. I'll cook sweet potatoes and put them in a cooler. You know, clementines, little snacks, you know, bacon, things like that. Yeah, just bring it. I read an article, Blake 12 Porter. I read an article that you can only get vitamin B12 from meat. It was unsourced. Could this possibly be true? Yeah, I mean, that's why vegans need to supplement because they're not getting it naturally. Stephanie Belitz, yo, Brittany is back, posting on Insta. I know that. I posted a video, so you didn't know that when you wrote that. So go check out the video on YouTube. It's new. It's awesome. Oh. What's your favorite time of day to work out? Whenever the fuck I can get to the gym. I love doing it first thing in the morning, but when I'm up till 6 a.m. doing content, I don't get up that early. Which fitness jabroni do you want to fight the most? None. And which do you think would give Papa Soy the best fight? Don't care. Silly question. Sayati Ovo. I'm not sure if I'm going to make any sense, but I was told by a pretty big name in bodybuilding that the day after you work out, that the next day you should go back and do that same workout, but super light on the weights. I can see for toning, there's no such thing as toning. But does this also help with recovery? Does it even work for toning? Does it help re-tear the muscles for more blood? Not necessary. I wouldn't do that. I would just practice yoga. I mean, technically when you're walking or lifting your arm, you're still working the same muscles. You're just not putting them under stress. So I would recommend doing yoga the next day. And that's a very similar concept, but you're lengthening, you're actually restoring, and you're doing it properly. I wouldn't go back and do the same thing twice. And if you're told by a pretty big name in bodybuilding, they're recovering a lot faster than you because if they're a big name in bodybuilding, they're likely taking anabolics and their recovery time is fucking minuscule compared to someone who's natural. Best supplements for a killer workout: food and consistency and fucking intensity. Alex's Mojo. I've heard a lot of mixed information about the body's ability to lose fat and build muscle. Another question like this. I like to cut down for summer, but I still want to get stronger and bigger if possible. What are your thoughts on this? You're not going to get bigger and strong.
I'm not sure.
See, I told you Alexa was going to wake up. You're not going to get bigger and stronger and lose fat. You're in a fucking dream world. Like, focus on one thing. So you need to, that's why people build muscle and focus, because you need a caloric surplus when you're building muscle in the off season. You don't have to get stupid fat and like bloated, but you eat excess calories with the right foods and you're training hard. And then as summer comes up, then you switch to a slight caloric deficit. You up the fats, you drop the carbs a little bit. You keep on training hard and you slowly cut down maintaining muscle mass and maintain that protein intake. So you're maintaining muscle mass into summer and you're doing it the right way. And you're going to try to do both and you're going to get nothing. And I don't care if it's possible and, oh, you watch a YouTube video, but so-and-so said it was possible to do this. Well, you fucking try it and you tell me how it worked out for you. A lot of people don't want to micromanage and fucking weigh, and they don't have the experience and the skills to do it. It's very common when you first start training because your body is in shock from everything that's going on. It's not a logical approach, which is why most people don't do it, because it's not the best way to do it. It's not the most commonsensical way to do it. El Oso, last question. Holy fucking shit, I made it through all of them on Instagram. How do you feel about almond milk? I don't. There's a lot of stabilizers, and I don't care for any kind of milk product. I don't need almond milk. That's usually just an excuse to drink some like almond jizz. Now, you don't need milk. What for? What for? Why do you need it? When do you need almond milk? Like, what are you mixing it with? Are you making some kind of like a smoothie? I mean, you make sure you're not just sucking down tons of sugar. You're not eating cereal, so you don't need almond milk. If you're making coffee, drink it black or do bulletproof coffee. I mean, a little bit of almond milk, but, you know, a lot of times the flavors and stuff like that, the carrageenan and things that can fuck up your stomach. I don't hate almond milk. It just doesn't taste good to me. I don't get it. It's like vegan hot dogs. Like, just fucking like get raw, full fat fucking milk, or just don't like an excuse for milk. By the way, love the show. I've been listening for a week now. Changing my view on life. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm just fucking with you. So anyone that's listening, watching, or commenting, obviously don't take anything personally. I love to fuck with people that ask weird questions. So that, yeah, fuck vegan hot dogs. If you're a vegan and you're eating vegan hot dogs and vegan burgers and shit like that, you're an asshole. I've said that many times. You're in fucking absolute denial, and it's fucking weird. Vegan pizza, eat fucking pizza. Stop pretending to be a vegan. Vegan burger, you're not a vegan. Vegan hot dog, you're not a vegan. You're not. You're just in denial. You're trying to create this fake fucking food. It's nasty. It's fucking gross. Yeah, I'll say it to anyone's face. If you do that, you're an asshole. I don't care if you're a vegan, but you're still an asshole. For pretending like that's, yeah, gluten-free, fucking bullshit. Anyway, thank you so much, fam. Let's see. I work out with my cast irons when I cook. Yeah, those things are fucking heavy. Heavy. Almond milk with cream and protein shake is pretty good, though. Yeah, I don't drink protein. I don't waste my money on protein shakes, so yeah, keep sucking down that shit. If you consume something and it makes you shit your fucking brains out, like most people do with protein shakes, might not be the best thing to consume. Might not be. Steve, should you train your central nervous system specifically, or is just lifting weights enough? Well, you should work on your parasympathetic nervous system. You should work on meditation. It's also good it's great to do things like sauna and, cold baths and things like that to stretch the body out if you want to consider that central nervous system. But yeah, I mean, your central nervous system is always working. So your mind is more important than the body in many ways. The mind will control the body. Very, very powerful shit. That's why meditation is so important for weight loss. People don't want to believe it. What do you think increases hormone production? What do you think will help relax the body? What do you think lowers cortisol? What do you think lowers cortisol? The psychological benefits and the mental benefits and your ability to reduce stress hormones is phenomenal. So those of you that are stressed out all the time, you practice yoga and meditation, you're going to magically start losing weight. It's because you're not causing damage and you're reducing stress in your body. That's why sleeping better is important. That's why hydrating, eating better foods and less inflammatory foods is better. That's why recovering properly and giving your body more rest is important. Reduces stress, reduces cortisol, and you'll reduce water retention and fat. That's it. Holly, read the ingredients, fam. If the almond milk is full of stabilizers and emulsifiers, it is shit. I agree. The look of love is in your eyes, and I want to make gains between your thighs. That was impromptu. That was nice. So everyone, make sure that you go over to YouTube. Check out the latest video, drop a comment. I'd love to share it if it's a good one. Follow me on Instagram. I'll be posting some more stuff today. I haven't posted in my feed today. Shame on Papa Swole. I've been busy. Fucking dropping fucking nukes on YouTube. And again, a big thank you to everyone that is a Daily Swole Club member. Thank you so much for the support, for the monthly donation, the monthly support for the Daily Swole podcast, for the YouTube content. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all you that are supporting the show and all the content that I do. It really means a lot, and it does help keep the podcast ad-free. I do not want this to be packed full of all these bullshit fucking ads that I don't believe in. I've been getting a lot of offers, so thank you so much. It keeps those at bay. Mucho apreciado. It allows me to continue to do what I love and what you love and keep us all on track. So if you're interested in learning more about the Daily Swole Club and everything else that I have to offer, you can check out swolenormousx.com. Click on the little hamburger, little line icon in the top right, and you'll see all the links to everything. You can check it all out. And if you have any questions, feel free to DM, hit me up, slide into Papa Swole's DM, and I'll see everyone tomorrow for episode 1025 of the most muscular Swolecast, Beardcast, Broadcast, Gaincast, Mancast, Pimpcast, Sleecast, and Slayscast. Sleazecast, and fucking Slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flexed our biceps. Hope you had a good pump today. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday Funday. Q&Anus. I'll see you tomorrow for 1025. Peace, McGee's, Deuce Magoose, your boy, Papa Swolio. Ho, 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 ho. Out.